friends, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Erin and I am so excited that you decided to take time out of your day to spend with me because today we are talking my 2026 priority TBR. And to go along with that, we are also going to be discussing some of my 2026 reading goals as well. We got a lot of yapping to do as always. So let's just go ahead and hop into it. So to start off, I wanted to talk about my reading goals mainly because I didn't feel the need to do a separate video for them because they aren't really changing that much from 2025. My first goal is to have at least 50% of my reading come from BIPOC authors. I was able to accomplish this in 2025, and so I want to keep the momentum going as we go into 2026. My second goal will be the number of books that I read. I am setting my goal to 90 books. So last year it was also 90 books. And I think in 2024, I read over 100 books. In 2025, I read 98 books. And so I'm saying that if I surpass 90 books again in 2026, then we will reevaluate the goal in 2027. The last goal that I have for 2026, and it's also the only new goal, is that I want to figure out how to efficiently read series because I'm struggling. I am struggling, and that is because I do not have a great memory. So if you don't know, I am a chronic illness girly. I have at least two that I know of and are in the middle of trying to figure out if there is more. Okay. And so all of them come with brain fog. My brain is the size of a pea. If I don't write it down, it won't get remembered. And even if I do write it down, I still will probably forget that I wrote it down. It's just like that. And so there's no way that I can, fully keep up with series. Some of them are written in a way that, they're easy to latch onto and you can just kind of catch up. But like if there has been a year between me reading a book, I probably don't remember enough to continue on in the series without feeling like I'm missing stuff. And I never want to miss stuff. But I also cannot reread every book in the series before the new book comes out. You know what I'm saying? So I know it's easiest to just wait until it's a completed series, but I don't want to. And I want to, be in the know. And it feels like every book that comes out now is a part of a series. So yeah, I'm going to have to figure out what to do to make series reading work for me. But we'll talk about that later because I didn't went on this whole unnecessary tangent. And we got a lot of books to talk about. For my priority TBR list, I am capping at 20. I tried to do 24 and 24, and that went decently well. I did close to 25 for 2025, and that did not work at all. And that was because a lot of the books on there were series, and I was in the middle of so many series that I didn't want to start new series. So I think I might have made it halfway through my 2025 TBR. And that annoyed me. So I decided that I wanted to kind of revamp the way that I do my priority TBR list starting from 2026 and forward. This is how I'm going to do them because it made sense to me. And yeah, I think it would be more achievable this way. So 20 books are the only books that's going to be on my priority TBRs. There were also other stipulations that came with this as well. I did not want to have repeat authors from the year before. So if there was an author on there from 2025, I did not add them to the 2026 list. I'm not repeating books that were on previous lists from the year before. It can be like a year in between. So if there's something on my 2024 list that I wanted to grab from 2026, I could do that. But yeah, and I'm trying not to keep repeating the same authors as well, because I want this to, encourage me to try different authors, try different series, try new things. And that's way too much yapping. So let us go ahead and hop into the actual 2026 TBR. I have divided this into 4 groups, and there's 5 books in each group. So the first group that I have is going to be new releases, anticipated releases for the current upcoming year. The first book is going to be The Art of Loving You by Natasha Bishop. This is the second book in the Forever Falling series, and in this we have an intimate bucket list road trip, sexy banter, and a sweet and spicy second chance romance, which I'm nervous about, but it's Natasha Bishop, so yeah. And in this one, we're following Danny and Micah, who, if you have read Only for the Week, we have already met them. And I'm interested to see what we're going to do with this. To Steal a Throne by Gabby Burton. And this is a YA fantasy novel about a girl who has always served others but decides to take power for herself. Her magic feeds on lies. His magic could destroy her. We're following Mira, who runs the court of Verde from the shadows ever since she helped her half-brother Luke cheat his way into the role of Verde's leader. She's used her lie-powered magic to collect secrets from members of court, then use them as blackmail to keep her brother in power. When newcomer Cadron Vale shows up and challenges Luke's leadership, he threatens the stability Mira has worked so hard for. As Cadron and Luke compete in 3 deadly challenges called the Trials, Mira realizes that no matter who wins, she will be stuck serving a mediocre man who doesn't deserve to be in charge. She's done hiding in the shadows. She wants power of her own. The Summer Girlfriend by Christina Forrest, and this says a stand-in girlfriend and a handsome business heir find that their fake summer fling is feeling way too real. After a chance meeting, Noelle and Jeremiah come to an agreement. He'll hire her to be his stand-in girlfriend for the weekend, and she'll use that money for her tuition. I love a fake dating. I love Christina Forrest. They All Fall in Love at the End by Haley Blassingame. Kat St. Clair is ready for her messy love triangle era now that she is in an open relationship. But she didn't foresee a forbidden triangle with the only 2 people who are off limits: her boyfriend's best friend and his girlfriend. Being a 20-something writer who lives for the plot, she falls for them anyway, with deliciously disastrous consequences. And the exciting thing is, friends, I got an e-arc for this book, and it's burning a hole in my pocket. Like, I am so ready to read this book. It sounds like it's going to be so messy, and I'm going to eat up every bit of it. The last one in this new releases category is going to be Books and Bewitchment by Isla Jewell. And in this cozy, witchy rom-com, a young woman works to turn a rundown small town video store into the bookshop of her dreams, only to discover a powerful magic that's been lying dormant and a forbidden love she can't resist. And this just sounds like a me book, and I need this. I need these vibes in my life. The next section that I have is going to be sequels. I need to be making my way through series, finishing series, all the things involving series. So these are 5 sequels that I really want to get to in 2026. The first one is Shattered Gods by Katie Robert, and this is the 10th book in the Dark Olympus series. Now, in case you're wondering, no, I'm not caught up. I am on book 8. So I was trying to be smart, and I'm like, okay, so if I put book 10 on the series, then that means I have to read 8, 9, and 10 and finish off the entire series. So that was my thought behind choosing Shattered Gods over Sweet Obsession, which is book 8. And I'm very excited to see how this series ends. We have A Clash of Carnivores. This is the second book in the A Mastery of Monsters series by Lucille Sandberry. And, I absolutely loved A Mastery of Monsters. And so, of course, I'm going to pick up the sequel as soon as it comes out. And the only thing I can tell you about this is that this series follows August Black as she infiltrates a secret society, hiding the frightening reality that monsters are real while unraveling the mystery behind her brother's disappearance. We have deadly trials, we have monsters, we have a kind of dark academia setting, but it's set at a university. We have secret societies, all the things. It is so good. Definitely very excited to pick this sequel up. Then we have another series that I started last year. I want to continue on and read Fevered Star by Rebecca Roanhorse in 2026. This is the second book in the Between Earth and Sky series. I read Black Sun in 2025 and I really enjoyed it more so than I thought I would. And so I definitely want to continue on before I forget and need to reread Black Sun. Next, we have Heat of the Everflame by Penn Cole. And this has little asterisks beside it because this series and these books are in a very interesting situation. So, y'all know Penn Cole has been lying to us for years about releasing Burn of the Everflame, which is the fourth and final book in this series. And so the streets are saying that Burn is supposed to come out in 2026. And so this book is only on the list if Burn comes out in 2026. And I'll tell you why. It's very similar to Dark Olympus. At this point, I don't remember nothing about the series. So I need to go back and reread the first and the second book and read this one for the first time. So, we'll see. It's all up to Penn Cole because this is a big book and I refuse to have to reread this book before going into Burn of the Everflame. I already got to reread the first and second book. So, yeah, this is a maybe. Hopefully, but a maybe. And rounding out this little category is going to be The Shadow Cabinet by Juno Dawson. Now, this is the second book in a series because I just don't know. I didn't want to be too ambitious and say that I'm going to finish all these series, but I at least wanted to make progress. And The Shadow Cabinet is one of those. This is the second book in the Her Majesty's Royal Coven series, and I'm very excited to continue on in this. We have a group of childhood friends and witches who must choose between what's right and what's easy if they have any hope of keeping their world from tearing apart. And I absolutely loved the first book and am very excited to see how this story expands and what actually happens because it also left off on a very interesting spot. Now, this next category, I just kind of called it my physical TBR, and that will be 5 books from my physical TBR that I want to make sure that I get read this year. And it could have been anything. It could have been something that's been sitting on my TBR forever. It could be something brand new to my TBR. It didn't matter. It just had to be a book that I physically owned that I wanted to make sure got read in 2026. So the first one from that is a new-ish release that I did not get to in 2025 but was very excited to, and that is The Isle in the Silver Sea by Tasha Suri. I really wanted to get to this in 2025 and did not. So, of course, I'm going to make sure it happens in 2026. And this is a standalone also. So, I'm trying to grab as many standalones as I possibly can. And this says 2 lovers endure centuries of endings in this heart-shattering romantasy of sapphic longing, medieval folklore, and a love that spans lifetimes. And we're following a witch and a knight. Say less. Like, yeah. Next in this category is Immortal by Sulin Tan. And this is also a standalone. Leon maybe, who must ascend the throne and renew her kingdom's pledge to serve the immortals who once protected them from a vicious enemy, But when she is poisoned, her grandfather steals an enchanted lotus to save her life. Enraged at his betrayal, the immortal queen commands the powerful god of war to attack their land. Upon her grandfather's death, she ascends a precarious throne, vowing to end her kingdom's obligation to the immortals. When she is summoned to the immortal realm, she seizes the opportunity to learn their secrets and to form a tenuous alliance to safeguard her people, all with the one she should fear and mistrust the most, the ruthless god of war. As they are drawn together, a treacherous attraction ignites between them, one she has to resist to not endanger all that she is fighting for. We have The Art of Scandal by Regina Black. And this is a romance where, on the night of her husband Matt's 40th birthday, Rachel receives a sexy, explicit text from her husband that she quickly realizes was meant for another woman. Divorce is inevitable, and Rachel is determined not to leave her 13-year marriage empty handed. Meanwhile, Matt, a rising star mayor with his eye on the White House, can't afford a messy split in the middle of his re-election campaign. They strike a deal. Rachel gets $1 million in their lavish house in the wealthy DC suburb of Oasis Springs as long as she keeps playing the ideal black trophy wife until the election. But then Rachel meets Nathan, a very handsome, very lost 26-year-old artist, and their connection makes Rachel forget about being the perfect politician's wife. Y'all know I love a messy book, and this sounds like nothing but mess. The Fall That Saved Us by Tamara Jarrett, I think. And this is essentially a romantasy where we follow Cassiel, who has given up the family tradition of demon hunting, leaving behind her sacred angelic duty and faded sword. What she can't leave behind are the scars. To cope, she spends her days immersed in work, pouring all her attention into New Haven Books, her small bookstore and anchor in the new world she's carved for herself. But the past hasn't let go of Cassiel yet. When a succubus named Avitu arrives to claim her angel-touched soul, Cassiel's old hunter instincts flare, forcing her to choose between old knowledge and her truth. What should be a fatal seduction becomes a bargain neither woman expects. As they grow closer, Avitu is surprised to find her own pain reflected in Cassiel. And so, yeah, I started this book. Yeah, I read one chapter, 10 whole pages. I found my bookmark, and I just could not finish it because this is a heavier book and I just wasn't in the mental space to handle it. But at some point in 2026, I want to pick this back up because I do think that I will like it. I just have to make sure that I'm taking care of myself up here, you know. And the last book in this physical TBR category is going to be Perfect Fit by Claire Gilmore. And baby, this book, me and this book got history. I had the e-arc of this book, and I think it came out in 2024. And then I bought it, and then I still haven't read it. I really enjoyed Claire Gilmore's first book. There's no reason why I haven't picked this one up. I don't know what's going on, but 2026, it's going to happen for sure. And this follows Josephine, who has spent her entire 20s building Revenant, a fashion brand headquartered in downtown Austin, Texas. When her biggest investor orders Josie to hire a consultant, the last person she expects to be working with is Will Grant, the twin brother of her ex-best friend. I love a good workplace romance. The last category I have are 5-star predictions. And not to say that any of the books in the other categories are not, but I specifically want to, set myself up the best that I can. So why not put books on the list that I think are going to be 5-star predictions? It just makes sense, right? Like it makes sense. So the first one in this category is going to be An Academic Affair by Jodi McAllister. And this is another workplace romance. And in this, we follow Sadie and Jonah, who have been academic rivals since they first crossed paths as undergraduates in the literature department 15 years ago. In the cutthroat world of academia, opportunities are scarce and competition is ruthless. Now postdocs, thrust into professional uncertainty, they'll both do anything to find some stability. So when a highly coveted teaching position comes up, their rivalry hits epic proportions. Jonah needs the job to move closer to his recently divorced sister and her children, while Sadie needs the financial security and freedom of a full time teaching position. Once Sadie notices that the university offers partner hire, however, she hatches a plot to get them both the job. All they need to do is get legally married. It's a simple win win solution, but when sparks begin to fly, it becomes clear that despite their education, these two may not have thought this whole thing through. I love I it, like I can't even talk. It sounds like the perfect Aaron book. Then we have Modern Divination, and it is by Issa Agajanian. But we follow Aurelia, who has spent 23 years maintaining the equilibrium between her carefully created human life and the magical one that she endures in secret. With a devoted best friend and top marks at a prestigious university, she has everything one could possibly want neatly within her grasp. Except her gift of green magic has begun to fade, and if that wasn't enough to upset the balance of her life, a fateful run in with another power hungry witch with a penchant for stolen magic has threatened to ruin it all. Cast into an unexpected alliance with her dreadfully arrogant classmate, Aurelia goes into hiding among a peculiar family of witches, where she discovers that the secret to their safety requires breaking rules she has followed all of her life. My next 5-star prediction is House of Frank by Kay Sinclair, and this is a warm and hopeful story about a lonely witch consumed by grief who discovers a whimsical cast of characters in a magical arboretum. And this is a warm and hopeful story of a lonely witch consumed by grief who discovers a whimsical cast of characters in a magical arboretum and the healing power of found family. This one I have been wanting to read for a long time, but again, I wanted to be in the right mental space before I did so. We have another 2025 release that I am excited to read that I think will be a 5-star, and that is Catabasis by R.F. Kuang. This will be my first R.F. Kuang book, and so yeah, I'm excited to see what I think of her writing, and I think this is the perfect book for me to try first. We have Dante's Inferno meets Piranesi in this all new dark academia fantasy in which two graduate students must put aside their rivalry and journey to hell to save their professor's soul, perhaps at the cost of their own. And this just sounds good and sounds like it would be a 5-star for me. And the last book of my 2026 TBR, and the last one in this 5-star predictions section, is going to be Female Fantasy by Mani Hariri Kia. I have read from this author before and really enjoyed it, and this story just sounds like it's going to be fun and something that I will eat up. In this, we follow Junie, who is living in a fantasy, at least that's what people keep telling her, a copywriter by day, a fanfic writer by night. Junie continues to date and dump disappointing men in search of a happily ever after. But every potential suitor seems to have one flaw in common. They can't hold a candle to her book boyfriend, Reich. And Reich is a symbol for the life Junie craves and the kind of relationship she deserves. So with the book always in her back pocket, why would she settle for less? But when Junie learns that Reich's character is based on someone the author knows in real life, she embarks on an epic quest to track him down, meet him in person, and determine once and for all if soulmates really do exist. Unfortunately, her brother's annoying best friend, who doesn't believe in love or happy endings, insists on hitching a ride. And like any great hero's journey, it doesn't take long for the trials and tribulations to begin. That is my 20 books for 2026, or my 2026 priority TBR, whatever you want to call it. These are the 20 books that I am hoping to get to and wanting to get to the most in 2026. Let me know what is on your list for your priority TBR for the year. Have you read any of these? Let me know what you think. Tell me all the things in the comment section. But I won't hold you any longer because we have been here long enough. So thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, anything that you do to support me and my channel. friend. I really greatly appreciate it. I hope you have the best day that you possibly can. Remember to take care of yourself, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye.